All right, so get this.
Yeah.
We're diving into a story today that's straight out of like a political thriller movie.
Oh, I like it.
Picture this, okay? Ugandan parliament, super intense debate,
Right.
all about this controversial coffee bill.
Got it.
Tensions are high.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
out of nowhere, this disagreement over a simple seat
Oh, wow.
turns into a huge brawl.
Oh, my gosh.
We're talking like
Yeah.
punches are thrown.
Really?
One MP ends up in the hospital.
Wow.
A dozen others get suspended.
That's intense.
So are you ready to unpack all this with me?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, so what's wild is like
Yeah.
how this simple thing,
Yeah.
like just a seat,
Right.
caused this crazy event.
Yeah. It's kind of unbelievable.
It wasn't just a little fight.
No.
It was like pure chaos,
Oh, wow.
showing all the tension about this coffee bill.
Yeah, you can just imagine
Yeah.
like a pressure cooker exploding.
Exactly.
Wow.
And at the center of it all,
Yeah.
we have two MPs,
Okay.
Anthony A. Cole and Francis Zake.
Got it.
Now, Zake's the one who needed the ambulance.
Oh, geez.
He's claiming that A. Cole just punched him.
Multiple times.
Yeah, over and over during the argument.
Wow. That's a serious accusation.
Right.
Yeah.
And he says he had like terrible head pain.
It makes you wonder what could have provoked that.
Yeah, like was A. Cole just like
Yeah.
super aggressive?
Right.
Or was he reacting to something Zake did?
Nah.
Because some are saying that
Yeah.
Zake tried to like shove A. Cole out of the seat.
Oh, so maybe Akel was defending himself?
Maybe, yeah.
It's hard to say for sure.
It really is. It's a big question mark hanging over the whole thing.
Definitely.
And then it gets even more complicated
How so?
because of how other people in the parliament reacted.
Yeah.
So like,
Uh-huh.
enter the opposition,
Right.
led by Joel Senyonyi.
Okay.
They were furious about what happened.
Yeah.
Rushed right to the hospital to be with Zake.
Wow. So they were pretty upset.
Oh yeah, they condemned the violence immediately.
Right.
But they started pointing fingers too
At who?
at the Speaker of Parliament.
Really?
Yeah, and not just like questioning how she handled the situation,
Right.
but like hinting at something worse,
Like what?
like a setup.
Oh, wow.
Like maybe this was orchestrated.
Interesting.
So we go from like a fight
Mm.
to a full-blown conspiracy theory.
That's a big jump.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the timing is super suspicious.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
This fight happens
Mhm.
right in the middle of this debate about the coffee bill.
Right.
So to understand why maybe someone would do this,
Yeah.
we got to look at the bill itself.
Okay, let's do that.
So for everyone listening,
Mm-hmm.
here's a little background.
Okay.
Ugandan parliament,
Yeah.
they're the ones who make and pass laws.
Just like other democracies.
Exactly.
Got it.
They have a speaker of parliament
Right.
who basically like runs things
Mhm.
to make sure everyone stays in order and gets a chance to speak.
Makes sense.
And being barred from those sessions means you can't vote
Right.
or even talk about the laws.
Oh, wow.
So basically you're silenced.
Yeah, you have no say.
And the opposition,
Yeah.
they were not happy about this coffee bill.
Not at all.
Nope.
Why not?
They saw it as something that would only help the big coffee producers and corporations.
Interesting.
And they thought it would hurt the small farmers.
Who are the ones that actually like grow the coffee, right?
Exactly.
Seems kind of backwards.
It does, right?
Yeah.
It's like a classic power struggle.
The little guys versus the big guys?
Yep. So then let's think about Zake's claim again,
Okay.
that the fight was on purpose to distract everyone.
Right.
Imagine it.
Okay.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
Speaker has to be rushed out.
Oh, wow.
The media is going crazy over the fight.
Uh-huh.
And meanwhile,
Yeah.
this bill is just
Quietly making its way through.
exactly like nobody's paying attention.
That is suspicious.
It is right.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder,
If the fight actually helped the people who wanted the bill to pass,
right? Like
Yeah.
maybe they planned it.
that's a big accusation.
It is,
Yeah.
but maybe it's possible.
Maybe.
Especially with all the tension around this bill already.
Right.
This fight could have been like,
The thing that just set everything off.
exactly.
Wow.
So then, in all this chaos,
Yeah.
the speaker, Anita Amung, she steps in
Okay.
and suspends 12 MPs,
Wow.
including both Ekal and Zake.
For misconduct? That makes sense.
That's bad.
After all that happened?
Yeah, seems like standard procedure.
Yeah.
But then Zake says something else.
What's that?
He claims
Yeah.
that one of the speaker's bodyguards
What?
had a gun in the chamber.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That adds a whole other level to this.
it does, right?
Yeah, like intimidation.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and the speaker denies it.
okay.
Has her bodyguard searched.
Hmm.
No gun.
Hmm.
So it makes you wonder, What was really happening behind the scenes?
Sure.
Was Zake genuinely concerned?
Yeah.
Or trying to make the speaker look bad?
To push that narrative that something shady was going on?
Yeah.
Wow, this is wild.
It is.
So we have a fight.
Yep.
We have a controversial bill,
Uh-huh.
a speaker who's being accused of not being fair,
Yeah.
and even allegations of a gun in Parliament.
And we haven't even talked about
Right.
what this all means for Uganda's farmers and their economy.
And what about their democracy?
Yeah.
This is huge.
It is.
Wow.
Okay, so we're back.
Back again.
And now let's get into the
Yeah.
root of all this tension.
Okay, get down to business.
Right. The coffee bill itself.
Mhm.
Because this wasn't just some random thing in the background.
Right.
This bill is tied to the fight the suspensions, like
It's all connected.
the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This bill wasn't just about...
No, not just some regulations.
Right. It was about, like...
It was about power,
Yeah.
control, who benefits from Uganda's most valuable export.
Their coffee.
Exactly.
And there were these specific parts of the bill
Yeah.
that really set off the opposition.
Okay, so what were those red flags?
Yeah. What were those red flags?
Well, one of the big ones
Okay.
was this clause that said all coffee farmers,
Yeah.
big or small,
Okay.
had to register with the central authority
Oh.
and follow all these
hidden rules.
Right, all these strict standards.
Before they could even sell their beans.
Exactly.
So for big producers.
Yeah, the ones with resources, it's probably no big deal.
Yeah.
But for the small scale farmers.
Right. The ones who don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, and are relying on traditional ways of doing things.
That could be a big problem.
It was seen as a potential death blow.
Wow. Are you saying that this registration requirement could
It could force a lot of those farmers out of business.
out of the market completely?
It's possible, yeah.
Wow.
Imagine it. You're a small farmer. You've been growing coffee,
Yeah.
like your family has for generations.
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. You have your own techniques.
But suddenly you got to follow all these new rules.
Right.
Inspections.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to buy new equipment.
To meet the standards?
Exactly.
That's a lot.
It's a huge burden.
And the opposition was basically saying,
Yeah, they were arguing
yeah,
that this would help the big guys.
and hurt the little guys.
Exactly.
It's like that classic
Yeah.
David and Goliath kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
The big corporations win.
And the small farmers lose.
And it happens all over the world.
All the time.
So let's put ourselves in the shoes of the opposition.
Okay.
They see this bill
Yeah.
as like a threat
A direct threat.
to the people they represent.
Whose livelihoods depend on coffee farming.
Right. And they're trying to fight against it.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
Going up against the government.
And that brings us back to the
Great
brawl.
sight.
Right. Zake's claim
Yeah.
that it was meant to distract everyone.
And silence the opposition.
Yeah. To like push the bill through.
Starts to seem more believable now.
Yeah. Less like a conspiracy.
More like a strategy.
Because think about it.
Okay.
If you create chaos,
Distract everyone.
right, you can take the focus off the bill
Uh-huh.
and silence the critics
To control the story.
and get what you want.
That's exactly what could have happened here.
So after the fight, who's in the news?
The fighting MPs.
Exactly. Not the farmers,
Right.
the ones who this bill will really affect.
Whose lives could be turned upside down.
Yeah. It's like,
Go over here.
well, something else is happening over there.
Exact.
And then to make matters worse,
Yeah.
12 MPs get suspended.
Right in the middle of it all.
So they can't even be there.
To vote or speak out.
They're silenced. So this fight
Yeah.
might have started with a seed.
Right. But it became about so much more.
It became about
Ugandan.
power.
Yeah.
Who has a voice?
And who gets silenced.
Big questions here.
It really is. We're back, and this whole thing,
It's not over yet?
not even close.
No way.
We have these 12 MPs
Right.
suspended
Their voice is silenced.
at like the worst possible time.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
So,
These suspensions
yeah.
weren't just a little punishment.
No, they were serious.
They couldn't go to Parliament.
For 3 whole sessions? That meant
They couldn't vote.
couldn't even talk about anything.
Yeah, they lost their platform.
The platform they were elected to have.
And it happened
Earned.
right as the coffee bill was being finalized.
Makes you think.
It does.
Yeah.
The timing was no coincidence.
It really does seem deliberate.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Like, here you have these MPs.
They're challenging the bill.
Yeah, voicing the concerns of their people.
The farmers who would be hurt the most.
Exactly.
And then suddenly
They're out.
can't even be a part of the process.
It just doesn't seem right.
No. It feels
Like they're being punished.
for speaking up.
For doing their jobs.
It makes you think.
About what this means for their democracy.
Like, if you can be silenced just for disagreeing,
What does that say about Uganda?
it's scary.
It is a bit.
And we can't forget
No, we can't.
about the human cost.
The real people affected by this,
These MPs represent thousands of Ugandans,
many of whom rely on coffee to survive,
and their voices are gone.
just like that.
So what now? What can they do?
They can fight back. They can go to court
To challenge the suspensions?
saying it was all political,
Yeah.
that it violated their rights.
Free speech, representation,
And what about outside of court?
public opinion matters,
Right.
groups can speak out,
Human rights organizations.
international observer
They can put pressure on the government
to make things right,
to be fair and transparent.
both with the suspensions and the bill itself.
Exactly.
The fight's not over.
Not at all.
No,
They
no.
can appeal,
Protest
keep advocating.
to protect those farmers.
Wow. So we've gone from
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
a brawl in Parliament
To a complex law.
to the future of Uganda.
It all started with a fight over a seat.
It really did.
But this is about so much more.
It is.
It's about power.
Mm.
Holding those in power accountable.
And speaking up even when it's hard.
Because there are consequences.
In this story,
Yeah.
it's not just about Uganda.
No, it's about all of us.
It's about making sure our voices are heard
Fighting against those who try to silence us.
and staying informed about what's happening in the world.
So keep learning
Stay engaged
and never be afraid to speak your mind.
because it matters.
It really does.
This has been a wild deep dive.
It really has.
We'll keep you updated on the situation.
But for now, remember this.
Knowledge is power.
Use it wisely.